This video is divided into 3 parts, and it is very important that you watch all 3 parts as they are interconnected. First, the historic relationship between Russia and Ukraine, the war itself and its underlying reasons. Third, what is India's stance and logic behind those stance? Russia has deep cultural, economic and political bonds with Ukraine, and in many ways Ukraine has been central to Russia's identity and vision of itself as a superpower. Both Russia and Ukraine claim their heritage from Kievan Rus, a system that united most of the East Slavic and some Finnic tribes. According to old Russian chronicles, Kiev, the capital of modern Ukraine, was proclaimed the mother of Russian cities at par with St. Petersburg and Moscow, as it was also the capital of late medieval state of Rus. It is after the Mongol invasion that history of Russia and Ukraine diverged. Still, the Russian Empire considered Ukrainians ethnically Russian and referred to them as Little Russians. In 1922, Ukraine and Russia were 2 of the founding members of the Soviet Union and were the signatories of the treaty that terminated the Union in December 1991, which shows that after Russia, Ukraine was the second most important bloc of Soviet Union. Even today, approximately 8 million ethnic Russians are living in Ukraine, mostly in Donbass and Crimea region. After the collapse of Soviet Union, many Russian politicians viewed the divorce with Ukraine as a mistake of history. Losing a permanent hold on Ukraine and letting it fall into the Western trap would be seen by many as a major blow to Russia's international prestige. The current war between Russia and Ukraine is just a part of a broader struggle. To conclude, Ukraine is vital in more ways than one. Strategically, culturally, economically. For example, Russia is the largest trading partner of Ukraine. Now let's come to the second point, the war itself. Why did Russia invade Ukraine? Let's first quickly understand the linguistic bifurcation of Ukraine. The western part speaks Ukrainian and wants closer integration with European Union and NATO, while the Russian-speaking east and south want closer ties with Russia. It all started with Russia's invasion of Crimea. Here's a quick information about Crimea. Crimea was always a Russian province, but was transferred to Ukraine in 1954 to strengthen the brotherly ties between Russia and Ukrainians. Sevastopol, a city in Crimea, is home port for Russia's Black Sea Fleet, the dominant maritime force in the region. Moreover, it gives Russia access to 3 strategically important regions, namely the Balkan region, the North Africa, and Central Asia. Apart from all this, the immediate region is this. In late 2013, Viktor Yanukovych, the then president of Ukraine, scrapped the proposal to join the European Union. It ignited a countrywide protest called Euromaidan, which made Viktor Yanukovych flee to Russia. Russia, in response, invaded Crimea, justifying it as a rescue operation for Russian people living in Ukraine. On top of it, Putin gave weaponry and intelligence support to separatists in Donbass region, home to a large number of ethnic Russians who supported integration with Russia. It blew up into a full-scale armed rebellion. Above all, Russia is also tired of NATO's expansion into erstwhile USSR states. Already after German reunification, former East Germany became a part of NATO. Ukraine, although a non-member, held regular military exercises with NATO, and in 2020 became one of just 6 enhanced opportunity partners, a special status for bloc's closest allies. And to it, Kyiv has been very vocal about its willingness to join NATO. For Russia, this is both a security concern and serious undermining of its influence in erstwhile Soviet Union states. Despite treaties against expansion of Cold War era entities, Western countries has been expanding NATO, provoking Russia. It is clear now that the war is between the Western Bloc and Russia, albeit on Ukrainian soil. Since the beginning of the war, USA and its NATO allies dramatically increased defense, economic and humanitarian assistance to Ukraine, as well as ramped up their sanctions on Russia. It can be said that USA's inability to live in a multipolar world and its inability to move away from Cold War politics has been the single biggest reason for this conflict. It brings us to the third point, India's stand. What is it and why? Western media has been repeatedly marking the fact that world's largest democracy, India, hasn't yet condemned Russia's action in Ukraine. Although PM Modi did say to President Putin that it is not the time for war, but India has never blamed any side for war. On top of it, India has doubled down on buying Russian oil and gas. One of the biggest reasons why India abstains is India has close historic ties with Russia, and India wants Russia to always choose India in case of an INDO-CHINA conflict. Given that in recent years Russia and China have come really close. Besides, on multiple occasions on Kashmir referendum, Ukraine has always chosen to vote against India. That does not help either. The war has meant rising oil prices, which drives inflation in countries like India who are heavily petroleum dependent. Russian cheap oil has helped India counter this effect. On many occasions, India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar has been defending India's rising purchase of oil from Russia. The oil import from Russia has risen 33 times compared to last year. Another very important aspect is Moscow is still India's biggest arms dealer. Indian military has historically been equipped with Russian and Soviet weapons. Most of these contracts date back to the Cold War, a conflict in which India was officially non-aligned but was close to Moscow. So most of India's arsenal is Soviet made, and India needs Russia to keep them operational. Now, despite India's growing defense deals with France, USA and Israel, Russia is still India's biggest arms dealer. It has supplied India with $13 billion worth of military weapons in last 5 years alone. So this was all about Russia-Ukraine conflict and India's stand on it. For more such videos and contents, please do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.